So good morning friends, today we are dealing with the basic terminologies of the neuroanatomy. Those terminologies which will help us to understand the topic. Now, the neuroanatomy, what we will consider, the very first thing which comes in our mind is the nerve. We all know the basic structure of nerve in our, as we have studied in our previous sections or in our lower classes, that a nerve consists of a nerve cell body. Cell body has processes of dendrites. It has a long process of axon and the termination of axon bulb. So it is the basic structure of nerve. The whole collection of this nerve forms our nervous system. Our nervous system is divided into two parts. Nervous system is divided into two parts, major two parts. The major two parts are central nervous system and the second one is peripheral nervous system. The central nervous system is named so because it is located centrally within our body. What are those? They are the brain and the spinal cord. So brain and spinal cord forms our central nervous system. In peripheral nervous system, as the name suggests, they are in the periphery of our body. So all the peripheral nerves like medial nerve, axillary nerve, radial nerve, they form the peripheral nervous system of our body. Now, there are two terms which we are familiar with. They are grey matter and the white matter. Grey matter and white matter. What are they? Actually, when we have a collection of cell bodies, it forms the grey matter. Nerves have the cell bodies. If they are collect at one place, they form the grey matter. So what? They are very tiny structures. We all know cell bodies are very tiny structures. If imagine various tiny structures collect at one place, what will it look like? It will look like a point. So when the various cell bodies collect, it will form a point-like structure. If we magnify this point-like structure, I will find that there is a collection of various cell bodies of nerve. So it forms the various it forms the collection of cell bodies of nerve. It forms a point-like structure. What is this point-like structure? So grey matter in the central nervous system forms the nucleus. This nucleus is nothing but the collection of the nerve cell bodies. In central nervous system, we use the term nucleus. For the same thing in the peripheral nervous system, we will call it as a ganglion. So what are the nucleus and ganglion? They are nothing but the collection of nerve cell bodies, and in the central nervous system we say it as a nucleus, and in the peripheral nervous system we say it as a ganglion. Now the white matter. White matter. What is white matter? White matter is the collection of axons of nerve fibers. So we are saying that cell bodies accumulate or collect each other, collect at a place, so it forms a point-like structure. But axons are quite lengthier, so they are not going to look like a point-like structure. They are going to look like a cylindrical bundle. Therefore, the collection of axons are generally responsible for the formation of pathway of our nervous system. So white matter generally contributes the pathway of our nervous system. Whatever the signal transfers from one place to another, it is generally due to this pathway. Within the nucleus, we have certain signals generated. Now these signals are to be transferred from the nucleus to the effector organ. This is possible because of this pathway, and this pathway is formed by the collection of nerve axons of nerve, and this collection of axons of nerve is known as white matter. Forms the white matter. Now they are also designated differently in CNS and PNS as the nucleus and ganglion was there. So white matter, the collection of axons in the CNS, is known as a tract, is known as a lemniscus, is known as a fasciculus. So all these words, if we are saying a tract, it means that it is the collection of axons in the central nervous system. And for the peripheral nervous system, we say it as a nerve. So all the different nerves which we use, which we study or use randomly, like in upper limb we studied about the axillary nerve, we study about the median nerve, we studied about the musculocutaneous nerve, sciatic nerve, and all those nerves. Why we are called as a why we say it as a nerve? Because they are the part of peripheral nervous system, and they should be designated as a nerve. So now understand why we call them as a nerve. Now nerve, tract, lemniscus, fasciculus. Okay. Now we all know that in the myelinated nerve fibers, they are myelinated by a myelin sheath. The axons are myelinated by a myelin sheath. When this myelin sheath is formed by the Schwann cells, when these myelin sheaths are formed by the Schwann cells, they are called as a nerve and a part of peripheral nervous system. And when these myelin sheaths are formed by the oligodendrocyte cells, they are the part of central nervous system and should be called as a tract, lemniscus, or fasciculus. So simply, when the axons are myelinated by the Schwann cells, then they are the part of PNS and should be designated as nerve. And when the myelin sheath is formed by the oligodendrocytes, they are the part of central nervous system and designated as tract, lemniscus, or fasciculus. Now, we have different cranial nerves, the olfactory, optic, abducent, trochlear, and all those nerves. So we are saying that they are the nerves, then simply they are the part of peripheral nervous system. But there is a misnomer we commonly use, and that is optic nerve. Optic nerve is not generally a nerve, it is a tract. Why we are saying it is a tract? Because its axons are myelinated by oligodendrocyte cells. Therefore, it is not good to say it as an optic nerve. It is a misnomer. It should be called as optic tract. So optic nerve is a misnomer and should be called as an optic tract. As I told you why we are calling it as a tract. Similarly, so let's summarize what we have studied. We have different nerves. These are cell bodies, they are the axons, and they are the axon terminals. Now, the collection of cell bodies within the central nervous system is called as nucleus, and within the peripheral nervous system called as ganglion. And the collection of axons of the nerve fibers within the CNS is designated as tract, lemniscus, or fasciculus. And within the peripheral nervous system, they are called as a nerve. The nerve are myelinated by the Schwann cells, and all these three are myelinated by the oligodendrocyte cells. And we also have a misnomer here of optic nerve. It should not be called as an optic nerve since it is myelinated by oligodendrocytes. It should be designated as optic tract. Similarly, we also have one misnomer in the white matter, the basal ganglia. Basal ganglia is actually present within the cerebrum of our brain. So it should not be called as a basal ganglia because it is present in brain. It is a part of central nervous system. So it is better to say it as a basal nuclei. but it is a trend and a misnomer. We commonly call it as a basal ganglion. Alright, now multiple sclerosis. It is a disease. It is a disease where we have a degeneration of our axons. We have a degeneration of myelination of axons. Whatever the myelinated axons are there, they get degenerated. So multiple sclerosis term is used for central nervous system, for the defect of central nervous system. They are not going to affect our peripheral nervous system. Therefore, optic nerve is involved in the multiple sclerosis. The cells which are myelinated by oligodendrocytes cannot be regenerated. Therefore, once the optic nerve or tract gets damaged, it cannot be regenerated. While the cells which are myelinated by Schwann cells or other nerves, they can be degenerated. Therefore, the defect of multiple sclerosis we generally use in the central nervous system and not in the peripheral nervous system. Thank you.